All right, guys, it's a great honour to bring to you. There's a big sale on BJJ um, instructionals. Are they worth it? I'll edit in the intro before that, actually. Yeah, welcome back, guys. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, drop your comments below with the videos and also your thoughts on this video. You might have guessed by me being a bit of a dick. This one is about instructionals and if they're worth it. What are your thoughts on it, mate?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I think they can be.
Answer everyone loves it.
Yeah, I think they can be, but they can also be a hindrance.
Yes.
What's your quality of training like to begin with? I think we've got to start there. You can't watch your way to fucking world class, can you?
No.
What's your experience with most of the students on this topic?
Again, it's mixed. I think they can be a fantastic training tool because you're getting the perspective of other people who have essentially mastered their craft or mastered the sequences or what they're trying to sell to you, essentially. And yeah, you can get some great details from them, but some people can become a bit too reliant on them. In a sense of they'll not start to develop their own ideas on certain subjects. So I think it's important to have some level of understanding of what you're of the sport, I'd say, to start off with before you start looking at instructionals. So don't be 6 months in trying to get like an instructional. Get that 6 months in with your coach, learn to move, understand the sport, understand the vocabulary.
Yeah.
Build some sort of game so you've got a direction of what kind of instruction you're going to get if you do get one.
Yeah, I think it's a really tricky one. I think for me, being a higher belt and seeing like the new wave of kind of, the instructionals and kind of not working as hard, I would say it's a hindrance for them because they're not really like engaged with what the coach is showing them tonight, and I can see it on their eyes. They're kind of like, you're showing a half guard pass, like it seems quite basic, not knowing that you've trained for 17 years now,
something like that, yeah,
and you're nitpicking, the finer details of what really works and what's going to be ideal for them to learn and fit into their game. You've actually done the hard yards. Now, I'm not saying a professional athlete doesn't know more than you, but what I am saying is, by them watching a professional athlete who's also done the same, they're thinking, if I steal it, I can just use it straight away. And that's not often the case because they're trying it on higher belts as well.
Yeah.
So it's not working. And even if they're trying it on someone who's similar level, it's kind of like they're trying a cheat code. Where I think if you watch content and actually use it and go, okay, I'm going to fit this into my game for the next 6 to 12 months, that's completely different.
Yeah.
Where I think a lot of people are like, oh, well, I saw this, so I'm going to do it. And then when it doesn't work out, they move to the next thing and they move to the next thing. So yeah, I think they can be used, but a lot of times not getting used in the right way.
Yeah, because like for me, there's one that really stood out to me was the Mendez brothers passing one, and probably one of the better ones that I've watched because he explained the concept and the ideas behind what he's doing. It's not a set of techniques because for me, like watching a set of techniques on video is you've got to create the specific circumstances to get the specific reaction to land that technique. Whereas if they give you the sort of idea what they're looking for, why they're doing it, and what the concept and what the sort of desired outcome is, it's easier to apply that in the game, which for me is like where I think having a better level of understanding of the sport will get you more out from instructionals.
To nitpick on what's actually worthy of your value than not.
And like, knowing your own game as well. So like now, so like more being a high belt, like I get a lot more from watching sparring footage and like podcasts and like people like the grapplers talking about ideas.
Yeah.
So that way, then I can start to apply those ideas into my rounds, and I'll just take them straight to the testing field rather than sit there stewing it, drill it for ages, and trying to figure out the movement patterns. I just want to know where the start point is, what the desired outcome is, and the key concepts to get there.
Yeah.
And I think that gets missed on a lot of people, where it's just set of techniques. Okay, knee cut pass. You've got to create this sort of scenario. But then, if you've never played with a knee cut pass before,
Yeah.
you're starting from scratch, and you've got to learn how to do a knee cut from watching, which is a difficult movement to do anyway.
Yeah.
When you're doing it actually in class, to then have not understand the concept, not understand the timing, to then try and improve that pass. Whereas if you learned it in class, or you actually coach, or maybe even booked a one-to-one with your coach to cover the knee cut pass, then you'll have physical feedback, direct feedback for how you're performing it, how your pressure feels, how it should feel on the receiving end as well as kind of like the pressure and the desired outcomes, and then the potential shortcomings of that pass. So again, knee cut again is there's a risk there if they get the underhook, but if like we looked at it in class and we're like, well, if they get the underhook, solution one, solution two, solution three, you might not get that in the instructional, or they might not even cover that risk in the instructional. So it's have a understanding of what it is you're trying to learn from like a bit of actual experience before you then start trying to dive into it.
Yeah. I think it's the scales have tipped. I think a little bit with a lot of people I see. It's too much instructional and like cheat code the way into kind of. It's like you're not Joseph Chen, you know. A lot of these guys that are like world level, you know, they are fucking super disciplined, super professional, training twice a day, very hard workers. Did they watch instructionals and get really, really good? Maybe. But they also, I guarantee, have took a lot of advice in person from great coaches.
Yeah.
And I think that's getting missed, is that like people aren't coming in and going, hey, I saw this, but what do you think? Or even just feedback after the round. If you're someone that likes what's instructional, why are you not asking higher belts after the round how to do this heel hook escape?
Yeah.
Like, don't just finish the round and cheers. Like, you're wasting kind of an opportunity to learn there.
Yeah. Like the leg attacks is a big one for instructionals. Like, don't get me wrong, there are some good ones that again teach you a fundamental understanding of them.
Yeah.
And I think for some, those ones might be useful, just like when they're giving you the core concepts, the health and safety of it, like say if we're using legs again. But you still need to get in, get your hands on someone's legs and have a actual physical understanding of it.
Yeah.
Because there's no point trying to engage and attack the legs on somebody where like if you can't get the sequence going, and then afterwards they might be just escaping out and maybe counter attacking and catching you all the time. And if you're not going to sit there and ask them for feedback and ask them how you like how to improve it, or even what the fuck am I missing?
Well, attacking the legs isn't a cheat code anymore.
No,
you know,
no.
It might have been 3 to 5 years ago, but it's if anything, it's being spammed.
Yeah.
And people are escaping very easily. They'll just get the hips back, and you can't really get into the legs now.
It's like it's kind of probably gonna. I don't know. It might piss a few people off this, but I look at the leg attacks now as a bit of a fun game to warm up, and then don't get me wrong, I'll attack the leg seriously, and I'll have serious leg rounds.
Yeah.
But like the legs are fun. If I'm attacking the upper body, like that's for me. That's when the serious work comes in and the more physicality. But again, that's down to my style of play, I think.
Yeah. But what do you think then to summarise really about them?
Summary, have an understanding of what you're trying to learn first. So ask your coach, and then maybe ask their advice on what instructionals, because they might have a good one that they find useful, or where like, how to improve that sequence of moves,
Yeah.
and then maybe go into get an instructional once you've already exhausted those available resources to you,
Yeah.
rather than spending £100 on a series of DVDs that you might watch once. You might like, if you're like me, you probably like I'll get a DVD, watch it once, and then I'll probably go back to it once or twice, and then that's £100 there that's just fucking sat in my hard drive doing fuck all.
Yeah.
So like, use your available resources there, and YouTube and Instagram, fucking great free resources as well.
Yeah. And I would say as well, like, don't you wanna put your own spin on the art form that you're practicing? Like, do you want to be an individual and go against the grain, or do you want to just copy? Or there's lads in here that just do leg locks, and it's quite evident that they watch instructionals, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you're not evolving your own game, and you're missing out on that beautiful side of when you catch a submission on someone that you've been working on it for years, or you've just worked on it yourself, or an escape or a pass or something. There's nothing more satisfying than that.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch a piece of footage and you come in and be like, oh, can I just do this inversion, like, and everyone's doing that, and you pretty much just becoming like a Craig Jones replica, a blue belt version of a Craig Jones from bottom.
Yeah.
And people not seeing how fucking well-rounded Craig Jones' game is. Like, I watched him the other day, a little clip on sparring with Owen Livesey. He's a fucking tank. And he mounted him, and there's top pressure in him. But, like I said, people coming in and like, well, they've watched the finish to a heel hook. And it's like, yeah, if they let you get into the heel hook, it's not going to happen, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's
Because
it.
the higher belt reads it. As soon as you tap hands, they read you're going to play legs, and they back off, or they pressure pass you.
Yeah.
They get past your hips, they body lock past you, and then you crumble. So it's less is more, isn't it?
Yeah. And like I said, I think we both agree that it's sort of like, be specific on, if you are going to get instructional, be specific on what you're going to get, understand it, and like I say, use your available resources.
Yeah.
Because every gym is going to have a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of nuances that you're not going to find on instructionals. Use your use your home, and then like, the instructionals are kind of like the last piece of the puzzle. They shouldn't be the starting piece.
Yeah, because ultimately your game is going to be rounded by your culture, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if your culture is like heavy, grindy style, if you're learning leg locks and instructionals, you're not going to do that forever if you're going to continue to train at that gym.
Yeah.
So you're actually making the gap bigger between you and the guys at the gym, and over time you're going to fall behind. I think anyway. Like, some of the things that I hit people with now from my training the whole last 7-8 years, it's from that time of training around those group of people.
Yeah.
I might have learned the odd thing from instructional, but it's actually from what you consistently do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if you're watching something that's can help you, then great. But if you're just kind of like relying on it, then it's not very good.
100%. Alright, so if you made it this far, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you tune in for the next one.